So for this video, I wanted to try something a little bit more different. I wanted to create a video series called Don't Be That K-Pop Fan, where I see some things that are a bit cringy in the K-pop community. For some, this series might be a little bit more controversial, but I think all the points that I bring up will be fair. So this video is going to be a lot more psychological than just K-pop itself. Now you guys might notice in the Pop Story title screen, it says, "Become a smarter K-music fan." And that's there on purpose because I wanted to create a K-pop community where they can talk about K-pop in a fun, but smart and mature way. And whether you agree or disagree with me or others on the comments, that we can have a cool discussion on K-pop and just learn to have fun. But I've noticed that it doesn't really happen in the K-pop community as much as I want it to happen. In fact, it's the opposite way. It's actually the norm for quite a number of K-pop fans. When they disagree with something, they actually just go to insults. Now, for 95% of the comments I get on the YouTube comments, emails, private messages, and social media, they've been nothing but positive. Whether they agree or disagree, there's a lot of awesome K-pop discussion happening. And for that, I love the small but ever-growing Pop Story community. But it's that 5% that just comes out and just kind of just ruins it for everyone. And it's pretty funny because I get some of the craziest insulting comments from these 5%ers. And I've been called a fake journalist, even though on my About Us page I have a list of press passes and people I meet and the places I've written. But I guess they think I'm a fake journalist still. Or I get my favorite where people say, "You don't know shit about K-pop." And then they insult me for 2 to 3 sentences, then have 2 long paragraphs on why they think I'm wrong. So in turn, I actually show my non-K-pop friends these insults and they laugh saying, "Wow, these K-pop fans, a lot of them are just illogical," which is true. Or I laugh at these comments a lot and then I try my best to respond in the most mature manner as possible. Now, I'm no different from the millions of other YouTubers that get insults because even a small YouTube channel like Pop Story is eventually gonna get them. I just find it disheartening that the K-pop community, there's a good chunk of these people that exist that actually just resort to insults as good arguments. So for this video, we're going to talk about 3 main points. The first one is, why do people actually use insults to strengthen their argument and look smart? The second one is, why do a lot of people online insult people a lot more than offline? And the third one is, don't be that K-pop fan that uses insults. So let's talk about the first one. So why do people use insults to strengthen their argument? Simply, it's because they don't know how to argue and they're quite ignorant. That if you insult someone, your IQ goes up by 50, or that you somehow have this ungodly argument. And look, I get it. You see a comment on K-pop you just disagree with. You just totally don't see the logic in it, or you're just like, man, I really want to like retort to this comment. And that's totally cool that you disagree with my videos or anyone else's videos on YouTube. But there's a right and wrong way to how to disagree with someone. So these type of fans type out, "Shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about," or "Fuck off with your K-pop opinions." And then they pat themselves on the back because they're like, "Hey man, I just insulted them, take that." For the smart people of the world, we just kind of like look at them like, really? And I think there's this insulting culture where a lot of people don't know how to debate properly and just turn to insults. And I feel that a lot of this insult culture comes from when people grow up in elementary school or junior high. So they go through like adulthood carrying these beliefs that if I put down someone or scream louder or whatnot, my arguments are a lot stronger. So let me give you 2 examples off the top of my head of these K-pop commenters. And I actually deleted these comments, so I'll try to paraphrase as best as I could. So the first commenter was basically saying, you know, the usual, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Shut the fuck up about, you know, your K-pop opinions. Here's why you're wrong." And then, like I said earlier, wrote 2 long paragraphs on why I was wrong. And it's kind of funny because if you took out the insults in the beginning, his arguments were quite valid. Right, I disagree with a lot of it, but they were valid nonetheless. And the second thing is, if you're gonna insult me in the first 2 to 3 paragraphs off the bat, you think I'm gonna actually be nice to you or take you seriously? Of course not. And the second person said the same thing, "Shut the fuck up, blah, 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 blah." It's always a recurring theme of these people, always putting you down in the beginning, right? It's never the middle or end. Well, sometimes it's the end. It's like a sandwich, like in the beginning, I'm gonna put you down, the middle is my argument, and at the end, I'm gonna put you down again, just to make sure it's a concrete insult sandwich. But yeah, the second person was insulting me, And then yeah, I actually responded maturely saying, hey, look, man, it doesn't make you cool or make your argument stronger or make you smarter if you insult me. Why don't you just have a mature disagreement with me? That'd be awesome. Let's talk about K-pop. The commenter responded back saying, it's not about having a strong argument or looking smart. I just want to put you down because you're so wrong and F you and blah, blah, blah. And I was just floored. I was like, wow, this person actually admitted it wasn't even about the argument. This person just wanted to put me down because I disagreed with one of his comments. My mind was blown, actually, because I was taught in elementary school that putting someone down doesn't make you smarter. I was taught that at a young age, but I guess not everyone was taught that. Because unless they really, really want to change, they're just going to resort to their insults because that's all they know. So the second point is, why do people insult others online a lot more than offline? And there's two subpoints to this. The first one is there's no consequences online. And the second one is social media. So let's talk about no consequences online. So when you insult someone online and you're like behind your keyboard and monitor, like, hey, I'm gonna get them with my insults, I'm gonna put them down, use all these 4-letter curse words and all this other crazy stuff, you're doing this anonymous. Like, people can't really track you down. So you can just slam someone without a fear of counterattack. But if you meet someone in person and you say it to their face, there's a lot more consequences. For one, they know how you look and how you sound, so they can judge you instantly. So second, you can't really run away, so they can put you down to your face. And third, if you push someone's buttons too far or deal with certain people, it can lead to a fight. A lot more consequence to putting someone down in person. That's why you don't really see it as much. So people are a lot more mature in person because there's social expectations, social norms. As for social media, it's about not losing face. So if you get into an argument offline, face to face with a bunch of your K-pop buddies about, I don't know, any K-pop argument, it might be like 6 to 10 people at most, right? And you might have your arguments, some people might get mad, but for the most part, people will act a lot more mature. And since the argument is offline, the argument is pretty much private. If you take this online, it's a lot different. So even if you comment on a social media platform or YouTube, argument is gonna be seen by thousands, tens of thousands, or even millions of people. So you don't wanna lose face to these millions of netizens, so you can't back down, right? And you gotta win the argument. So for a lot of these people, to win the argument means to insult someone. Because when you insult someone, a lot of people think that's a sign of strength for some odd reason, and it shifts the argument to like personal attacks. So all leads to the third major point. Don't be that K-pop fan that uses insults for their arguments. It doesn't add anything to the conversation, and you're wasting both your time and the person's time that you're trying to comment on. If you really want to be a good arguer online, all you have to do is do 3 things. Use logic, facts, and evidence. And that's it. Notice that there's no ad hominems or insults, right? And whether you agree or disagree isn't the point. It's the point that you guys can have that mature discussion, right? And just like sit down and say, hey, look, man, here's why I agree or disagree. And there's been a lot of commenters on the Pop Story YouTube comments that actually disagreed with me. And they used logic, facts, and evidence, and they swayed me to their side. And I was like, wow, I learned something new. That's really cool. If you're one of those people that do insult people in their arguments, try to change. I know it's hard. When you can do arguments without insulting someone, you'll be better in the long run. So going forth with Pop Story comments in the future, if I see one of these hate, insulting comments, I'm either gonna delete them or mock that person, like just right away. I won't even take them seriously. I'll just be very sarcastic. And if you guys are a regular on this channel, you know that I try to respond to as many comments as possible. If you have a well-constructed argument without insults, I will actually try to get back to you and respond to you. So I just wanna know your guys' take on what you guys think about this video and this new series, Don't Be That K-Pop Fan. And I hope a lot more people get into the mindset that you can agree or disagree without insulting someone. Yeah, it's possible, believe it or not. And you guys know the spiel. If you guys want to learn about K-pop journalism, what it was like living in Seoul as a foreigner, and my K-pop journey adventures, and how it can help you in breaking the K-pop industry, if that's what you want, then please sign up for my free email list and grab that free ebook below. And with that being said, I'm off to watch some music videos, but I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.